What are some ways that people can support you when you're going through chemotherapy, especially in dealing with breast cancer too?
Wow, there's a lot of things people can do. Practical things are really helpful because I am so tired and weak. Like when you came over and cleaned the house that day, that was so awesome. And like Bill's mother, she came over and she did so much yard work. It was awesome. And just when people do stuff, it's just great. Like I even had one friend have meals delivered to the house, and that was awesome.
That's very nice. Well, what would you recommend? Should we just say, hey, Suze, let me know if there's anything I can do for you?
Well, a lot of people do give general offers of help like that, and that's nice, but it's kind of better if people just, rather than ask, they just do. Because when you go through chemo, you can get something that we call chemo brain, which is you get kind of scatterbrained from all the drugs, and so it can be hard to organize people and really know what you need help with, and you've got so many other things on your mind too. It's just helpful if people just come in and do stuff.
That makes sense. And what about beyond just practical, tangible ways of helping? What about helping a friend or a family member with some emotional support?
That's a great point. Emotional support is so important, and in a lot of ways it's more important than the practical support. You can feel really isolated and alone because if you haven't been through cancer, you don't know what it's like, and your friends can feel awkward and they don't know what to say. So it's really helpful if people just, rather than try and provide solutions or things like that or advice, if they just say, how are you? And then let your friend talk and share their fears and their anxieties and let them be sad and not have to be positive all the time. So emotional support is just so important. And the other thing is, going through something like breast cancer, especially for women, it can really hurt your self-esteem because you lose your hair. Like me, I had a double mastectomy, I lost my boobs. Chemo can actually make you gain weight, and so I've gained weight, so your self-esteem can get really low. So, it's helpful to have friends like you who went with me to pick out my prosthesis. That was kind of a nervous thing for me, and having you there was just so important. Or, going with your friend to a support group, things like that, or helping her buy, fun hats and sassy wigs is another great way to support someone going through breast cancer treatment.
With any difficult situation in life, we're often dealt depression. We go through a lot of depression, we feel anxiety and loneliness. How has that been for you in going through breast cancer? Have you felt depressed, and how can people support you through that?
Yeah, I have felt depressed at times, and it's it's hard, and like I said earlier, it's just helpful to allow your friend to be sad and just be there for them and listen. Just listening is so important.
What about though if a friend has a story of another cancer survivor and they're dying to tell that to you, or they have a book that they really want you to read? What can people do who have information that they think is going to be helpful?
Well, that's a really good point. A lot of people do have that, and they want to tell you stories of other people, or give you research they found on the internet. What can be helpful though is ask your friend if they want you to share, because maybe they're not ready to hear it or in a place where they're ready to hear it, and just be available to them and be ready to shelve those things if your friend isn't ready to hear it. And letting your friend drive the conversations and kind of set the tone is really the best thing that you can do.
That's really good advice.